For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is Monday, the 27th day of April 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shoutouts brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola still a Cayman classic. And the Credit Union. Credit Union looks forward to serving the people of the Cayman Islands for the next 50 years and beyond. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. I want to mention the family of the late Mr. Linville Webb, also known as Nobbs, very popular individual, popular amongst his friends, as well as his classmates also. So again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to his family. Those of you who are ill and are at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we want to wish you a speedy recovery. Big shout out again this morning to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson. Big shout out to him as well. So folks, I want to thank you for again allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I need not remind you that For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I have the distinct honor and pleasure of being your host. My name is Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. We have a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. So if you're calling from a Flow number, that toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. So we're going to first of all look at the birthday shout-outs that we may have this morning. So let's look at our birthday shout-outs. Miss Letitia Ebanks celebrating her birthday today, 27th of April. Also, MacArthur Lewis celebrating a birthday today, and Vashti Borden. Oh, okay. MacArthur Lewis is, I'm told by Miss Susan, that is Calypso Rose, the performing name, Calypso Rose. Vashti Borden also celebrating birthday today. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout-out. Also, huge congratulations to Radio Cayman, who received the Cayman Islands Fashion Week award, as a Trailblazer honoree. Radio Cayman received that over the weekend, and I am told by reliable sources that the best dressed person at that occasion was none other than our Radio Cayman, the voice of Radio Cayman, the beautiful voice of Radio Cayman, Miss Susan Watson. I have not yet received an image of a photograph of her, but I am told reliably that she was the best dressed person. So if there was a vote and an award for that, she would have received it. But Radio Cayman did receive the Trailblazer honoree. Now, I'm told that the other Radio Cayman representatives there, the staff, that they were all dressed well as well. What we'd say, dressed to the T. But I'm told that Miss Susan, that she topped the list as well. So big shout out to our Radio Cayman staff, and a little bit of housekeeping just to let you know that we will have the Honorable D. Ezzard Miller in the studio with us at 8:15 this morning. He's Speaker of the Parliament of the Cayman Islands, and we will be talking about several things, including a recap of the 2025-2026 parliamentary year. He will also be talking about the upcoming fifth meeting of the 2025-2026 session, and that will be at 8:15. And then also he will be looking ahead to the 2026-2027 session. So we're looking forward to that. So you want to ensure that you remain tuned to Radio Cayman at 8:15 when the Honorable D. Ezzard Miller, Speaker of our Parliament, will be in the studio. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Corner, as the people would say.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How art thou?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. I, too, would like to say congratulations to Radio Cayman on that Trailblazing award. Also, who else would we expect to be the best dressed at the event but the beautiful voice or the beautiful person, Miss Susan Watson.
Yes.
She knows how to put it together.
Yes.
She can present herself well. OC, as you can remember, I know you would remember me speaking quite often about the seaweed.
You're cracking up, Graham, if I can interrupt you, you're cracking up a little bit. I'm not sure what's happening there, but your voice is cracking up.
Can you hear me better?
Not much, but are you on the speakerphone?
No.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I often speak about the seaweed that is invading our island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, see, you got to see the 7 Mile Beach, or pride and joy, the 7 Mile Beach. OC, as far as you can look, and it's not just on the shore. OC, it's lingering along the shoreline. It's as far out as, I would say, out to the 200 yards marker. OC,
wow,
it's ugly. And the thing about it, OC, if we try to move it now that it's wet, you move a lot of sand. And if you leave and make it dry, the fragments from it get mixed up in our beautiful white sand. And it lingers there for quite a long time, because as anybody that be on the beach, I walk the beach every day, every day we're there, right? And we go from public beach straight up to the Marriott whenever the tide is low, that we can run across those walls that are projecting out there, If that's the only how we can get across if it's low tide. So the COC go straight up. The beach is disfigured OC. You got to see it. So my idea of collecting it before it reaches shore is what we got to do, because once it reaches shore, then moving it while it's wet, we move a lot of sand, and because there's one place, Orrett Tortuga, who continuously move it, and now they got one big mountain of it, and they're supposed to put the sand back. But we'll see if they sieve it. They can't get no sieve that the sand gonna go through and leave those little fine fragments. It's gonna be like ugly looking sand to put back on the beach. So we can't do that. We can't do that either. So that's that. I read now in the papers where the minister is talking about a prison, rebuilding a prison, or building a new prison, or something.
I think what yeah, go ahead.
I haven't seen no controversial remarks about building a prison, but I can remember when the Honorable Premier, Ms. Julia O'Connor Connolly, proposed or started building the school. There was a lot of people opposing the school and the likes, but I not hear nobody talking about building a prison, opposing building a prison.
Well, what he said, what the minister, the headline in the Compass this morning says, Minister promises phased approach to replacing HMP Northward. So it will be a phased approach rather than one huge construction project at one time. Oh,
okay, yeah, well, it's a prison we're building. I don't care whether we're schooling it or building it. Prison. It's not a school. It's a prison. So I was reading and waiting for comments to be made about that, but I haven't heard or anything or read anything so far concerning that scenario. And see, another thing I just want to say quickly before I go is we are now up to $1 billion budget to run the government.
Over $1 billion, more than over $1 billion.
Okay, I gotta ask you a question. Do you think that the generational Caymanians are benefiting? What benefit are we getting from? Are we getting our fair share of that $1 billion budget? Are we really getting our fair share?
I would hope that we are. I would hope. But when you continue to hear anecdotal or to receive anecdotal evidence about some of our older Caymanians who are suffering, who are having challenging times because of their economic situation, I believe if you ask them individually, we would get a completely different story.
Right, right. Well, see, you. That's why I like to call you, because right away you went directly to that, because you two are very instrumental in knowing what's happening within the Caymanian, with the generational people, the older people. Not that you're that old, but I mean, you know exactly what's going on. So we'll see, with that kind of budget for this 78 square miles, all the neighbors shouldn't be going to work.
Yeah, but this government, this current government, they have insisted that they're going to look out for for Caymanians. It's Caymanians first as well. And you remember now they're only a little bit more, just 1 year really. We're 1 year into their term, so we want to give them an opportunity.
Well, they only got two. Well, O'Shea, I want to make the government know that they only got 2 more years left. Because that last year, it's
lame duck. Yeah, you lame duck.
Something else.
Yeah.
so they got 2 years.
Yep.
They got 2 years to get things or to produce that we can see what they have done going into the 4th year. You see?
Yep.
So they don't got a lot of time.
The question is, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, you got to go through to get something done, even though they're the government.
Yep.
So you got to get on that horse and start riding now.
Okay, Lord Graham, thank you very much. We've got to go to a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
This April, you could be heading to the 2026 World Cup. Coca-Cola is giving away 4 epic trips for 2, including flights, hotel, transfers, and tickets to see the 2026 World Cup matchups live. Catch world rank number 4, England versus Croatia, and defending World Cup champions Argentina as they take on Austria, courtesy of Coca-Cola. Grab any Coca-Cola product, Coke, Sprite, Fanta, Dasani, Smart Water, scan a QR code, or drop your entry in-store. It's that easy. Shop anywhere Coca-Cola is sold. Supermarkets, gas stations, convenience stores, and food trucks. Contest closes April 30th, and winners revealed May 8th on National Have a Coke Day. Coca-Cola, drink it in and live it up at the World Cup.
When you join the credit union, you're not just a customer. You're a member owner with one equal vote. As we celebrate 50 years, our members continue to share the benefits. Enjoy strong dividends on shares, competitive loan rates, and the lowest lending fees on the market. Plus, we're the only lender returning up to 2% of loan interest to our members every year. For 50 years, we've helped Caymanians save, borrow, and build brighter futures. That's the credit union difference. Visit creditunion.ky to learn more.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Radio Cayman celebrating 50 years of a golden pearly shell broadcast service to the Cayman Islands community. 50 years over 6 decades, enriching the Cayman Islands community with entertainment and content covering inspiration, current affairs, news, CI historical and cultural enrichments, and a wider view of the world around us. Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, no guests in the studio yet, but at 8:15 after the news, we will have the Honorable D. Ezzard Miller in the studio with us, Speaker of our Parliament. Meanwhile, we have been asked to send birthday greetings to Miss Rosita Borden. Happy birthday. Coming from her children, Rianne, Ashanti, and Emmanuel, wishing her the best and a lot more birthdays to come. So happy birthday to Miss Rosita Borden. Just want to say, too, we heard Lord Graham speak about the Sargassum issue yesterday when we stopped at Chisholm store right there at Hatland, the road to Hatland in North Side. We could see streams of that sargassum on that side of the island, on the north side of the island as well. So we are being inundated by the sargassum weed, and as you heard, from Lord Graham, 7 Mile Beach area as well. Okay, I want to mention something. Scrolling through the Tradewinds newspaper, and on this, the 28th, which would be tomorrow, day of April 1966, there was a in memoriam memorial published in the Tradewinds newspaper about a man in the Cayman Islands, of prominence, because he was basically the head of our police department before we actually, had a commissioner of police, established position, commissioner of police coming from the UK. This gentleman, like I said, occupied a position of prominence in law enforcement in the Cayman Islands. I would imagine also in the Home Guard as well. And it was in memoriam, in love and memory of a dear husband and father, Joseph Rodriguez Watler, who died on the 27th of April, 1965. So that would be 61 years ago today. The date, 27th of April, 1965. And speaks to being sadly missed by his wife Blanche and children as well. I must say that I don't believe that we give as much recognition to Mr. Roddy. What we knew him as Mr. Roddy Watler, full name Joseph Rodriguez Watler, that we need to certainly pay homage to him, for his service to the Cayman Islands as well. There are stories about him, including the German spy that was here in Cayman and went missing or ran away, and was eventually captured by Mr. Roddy Watler, and then I believe it was Mr. Carlin Nixon who accompanied him to Jamaica when he was being deported from the Cayman Islands as well. But just to point out, Tradewinds newspaper, 28th of April, 1965, speaks to Mr. Roddy. 1966 speaks to his passing on the 27th of April, 1965. And we just simply should say thank you to the Watler family for all that Mr. Roddy Watler did to keep the Cayman Islands safe during, his tenure as well. I want to say thank you to Mr. Roddy Watler. There was something else that I wanted to share on here. So we look at the Compass, Cayman Compass newspaper, and like I said to Lord Graham earlier, several other headlines, including the one, Minister promises phased approach to replacing HMP Northward. Other headlines: more needed to improve accessibility for those with disabilities, says the Planning Authority, the CPA board member. You know, we lauded ourselves when we required, for instance, that ramps, buildings had to provide wheelchair accessible ramps to persons who are, we use the phrase disabled, but there are other phrases that are used in a more positive, like differently abled persons. But I haven't been able to read the article yet, but it appears as if we need to go certainly much farther. With that, it is one thing for persons to be able to get into a building using by way of a ramp, but when they get inside the building, are the bathrooms wheelchair accessible? Are the offices that they're going to, are they wheelchair accessible, as well? Big question. The other one, Middle East crisis sends tourism spillover towards Cayman. So it appears as if we are benefiting from the Middle East crisis, where people are directing them, are changing directions in terms of where they're going to visit as well. You never want to benefit from someone else's disaster, but at the same time, people want to go somewhere, so we need to provide an welcoming environment for them to come here. Other article, Department of Agriculture working to address Grand Cayman's whitefly infestation. We keep hearing more and more about that. We can later on, after our guests have left, if we have time, then we can talk about some of these issues. And this article, in Cayman set to boast hurricane insurance coverage. And I believe that I want to make sure that I get his title correctly, but gentleman would have been on the was it Susan? Was it on Talk Today or The Buzz, talking about Cynico and the parametric insurance scheme? On Talk Today, yeah, as well. And some of you, I may sound like a broken record, but we should give the former leader of government business, Honorable Kurt Tibbetts, credit for that as well. After Hurricane Ivan, there was a conference that was attended in the UK when he first learned about the CCRIF, CRIF, Caribbean Catastrophic Risk Facility, funded by Japanese government, the World Bank, and some other governments as well. And Cayman participated in that. Now we see Cynico embarking on a similar parametric insurance as well. But first introduced in the Cayman Islands, and we took advantage of it. We also assisted other overseas territories that could not come up with the $1 million premium that was required. Several of the more well-to-do overseas territories assisted others with that as well. One could have asked whether or not the UK government should have been doing that, but we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers, and we went along and helped those other overseas territories that were unable to raise that money as well. With that, folks, we have reached the top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned. Remember, Honorable D. Ezzard Miller will be in the studio with us after the 8 o'clock news, so don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
For today's biggest news,
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
I'm April Cummings with your latest news. Attorney General of the Cayman Islands, the Honorable Samuel Bolgen, joined by attorneys general and senior law officers from across the British Overseas Territories, gathered at the 2026 Overseas Territories Attorneys General Conference held in the British Virgin Islands. Radio Cayman's Dion Anglin has more.
Hosted by Virgin Islands Attorney General the Honorable Don Smith, the annual conference is a key forum for legal and governance collaboration among the overseas territories, Crown dependencies, the United Kingdom, and the United States Department of Justice. This year's event also marked a personal milestone for Mr. Bolgen, who was recognized for his distinguished 23 years of service, making him the longest-serving Attorney General among the territories. Delegates acknowledged his contribution to the rule of law, legal excellence, and justice reform. Held under the theme Stronger Together, Common Challenges, Collaborative Solutions, the 5-day conference addressed a wide range of legal and governance issues, including constitutional reform, human rights implementation, governance and institutional integrity, sanctions compliance, judicial modernization, digital justice, cybersecurity, migration, and maritime law. Delegates noted the increasingly complex nature of these shared challenges and emphasized the need for cooperation grounded in mutual respect and democratic values. Participants highlighted the importance of moving beyond formal compliance toward meaningful implementation, particularly in human rights, legislative consultation, and the protection of marginalized communities. They also stressed the value of strong institutions in maintaining public confidence and the rule of law, and agreed on the benefits of sharing best practices across jurisdictions. A dedicated session on judicial modernization explored how technology can strengthen the efficiency and resilience of justice systems. Delegates expressed strong interest in commanding cooperation on digitalization and legislative reform, signaling that technology will feature prominently at the next conference. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Dion Anglin.
The event concluded with a renewed commitment to collaboration across the overseas territories. A joint communique and action plan will guide progress over the coming year. The 2027 conference will be hosted in Gibraltar. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is reporting a 6% increase in drug-related offenses for 2025. The data was released in the annual Crime and Traffic Report, which noted the majority of those involved unlawful possession of cocaine and supply of drugs to others. Police say drug crime recorded the highest detection rate across all categories, with 66% of cases resolved and 29% under investigation. Police also recovered a substantial quantity of illegal substances that washed ashore, valued at approximately $2.5 million, and documented 3 offenses involving fraudulent prescriptions and attempted supply through dishonest means. Police also recovered a substantial quantity of illegal substances that washed ashore, valued at approximately $2.5 million, and documented 3 offenses involving fraudulent prescriptions and attempted supply through dishonest means. That's your local news at this hour. I'm April Cummings. Now to the BBC for stories making headlines around the world.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. Russia's Africa Corps, whose mercenaries have been fighting in Mali against jihadists and separatist groups, says it has left the northern city of Kidal. It added the withdrawal was agreed with Mali's leaders. The development comes as the country observes 2 days of national mourning for Defence Minister Sadio Camara, who was killed in a suicide bombing near Bamako. The commander of Ukraine's drone forces says he's holding back Russian advances by killing roughly 30,000 soldiers a month. Robert Brovdi told the BBC that every death was verified and logged via drone footage. The Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said that peace talks with the United States earlier this month failed because of what he called Washington's excessive demands. He made the comments as he arrived in Russia for talks with President Putin. The head of the main tanker owners' trade association says thousands of seafarers remain stranded in the Strait of Hormuz. Tim Wilkins of Intertankos said the trapped crew members were facing extreme mental strain. Reports from Sudan say an army drone strike has killed 6 people and injured dozens at a camp for displaced persons in central Darfur. An advocacy group says the strike destroyed shelters in the Al Hamadiyah camp near Zelingi. The Indian multinational company Sun Pharmaceuticals has announced it's to acquire the US company Organon & Co. for nearly $12 billion. The deal is one of the biggest overseas acquisitions by an Indian company in nearly 2 decades. Italian archaeologists have used artificial intelligence for the first time to reconstruct the appearance of a person killed by the volcanic eruption that buried the Roman city of Pompeii nearly 2,000 years ago. The image shows a man ducking for cover while protecting his head from a shower of rocks. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
You hear that the VEG program taking applications again? What that is? VEG, man! The Minister of Tourism's program that helping Caymanians create new tourism products and services.
Oh, I had heard about that, yeah. My friend was one of the successful applicants from the last round. I might apply for that still.
Nothing wrong, child. After you got great ideas for things tourists would love to buy, try so check out the website rcayman.ky/VEDGP for more information and apply.
I'm going to do that right now.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brigade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 78%. The barometric pressure is 29.93 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 4 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopses indicate generally fair conditions accompanied by light winds are expected to persist today, as a weak pressure gradient remains over most of the region. The chance for showers remain low as dry air remains in place over the Cayman area. Radar imagery show no shower activity at this time. Now the forecast for today calling for mostly sunny skies with a low chance of afternoon showers, and temperatures will rise to the upper 80s with a heat index near 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet. Tonight, fair skies with a low chance of showers and temperatures falling near the mid to upper 70s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be smooth with wave heights of less than 2 feet as well. Low tide will be this afternoon at 1:33. High tide again tonight at 7:54. The sun will set this evening at 6:45 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:59. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Thursday morning.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brigade, where people come first.
If you have an objection to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your...
Don't do it, Tevin! I still love you. I have since the day we stole your mom's car and got matching dolphin tattoos.
Oh, Lordy. Janelle? From spring break 08?
Yes, it's me.
Janelle, you've got to move on.
We're like the wedding guest that doesn't ruin the ceremony. CG Brit-K. Good like that.
Who says you can't teach an old turtle new tricks? Visit empoweringcayman.com to learn more about CUC's 60th anniversary reveal on May 1st.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's flowing. Further up on Shamrock Road, flowing at a moderate pace. Further down, a little steadier traffic. Nothing to worry about too much on Shamrock Road. As you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, surprisingly, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Different story on Crew Road as traffic is slow moving, heading to the Georgetown area. Heading east on Crew Road, traffic is moving light to moderate. Turning our attention to the West Bay 4-way stop, flowing at a light to moderate pace. Owen Roberts Drive, no issues there as traffic is moving pretty good. And coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, moderate flow of traffic and continuing on to Huldah Avenue. Turning our attention to the Esler Tibbetts Highway, steady traffic coming off of there, heading towards the North Sound area, Industrial Park area, moderate flow of traffic. Eastern Avenue and Godfrey Nixon Way is flowing at a moderate pace in both directions. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moving at a good pace in both directions. And that's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
Radio K-Man's Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, SIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
And Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, still a Cayman classic.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. As promised, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me now the Honorable D. Ezzard Miller, Speaker of the Parliament of the Cayman Islands. He will be with us until about 9 a.m. Extremely grateful to him for making himself available. And again, this is a continuing effort of our Parliament to keep the people of the Cayman Islands informed as well. So our new Speaker has taken a different approach to this in terms of also being out there in the public domain and telling you what is happening, what will be happening in our Parliament as well. So with that, Mr. Speaker, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record. Okay, I'm glad to be here, and hopefully we can share some knowledge with the general public about what Parliament is and what we're trying to do down there during this time we have here.
Excellent. And first of all, I'm going to ask you because, some people are confused, even the best of us. Sometimes I get it wrong as well, and we know even the journalists out there get it wrong. Also, the difference between a meeting, a sitting and a session.
All right. Well, a session is usually a year long.
Okay.
For instance, and each session, Parliament is prorogued on an annual basis. Now, proroguing the Parliament is different from dissolution. dissolution happens for election purposes, right? And everything is closed. But each year, the Parliament is prorogued by the governor. And that's a session. This session, 2025-26 session, will be prorogued on the 5th of May. So the last meeting that we have, right? So that's, and the Constitution requires that we have at least 4 meetings of Parliament per session. So a meeting is a number of days. For instance, we're meeting on the 29th, 30th, and the 1st. That's a meeting. Now, a sitting is what we do on the 29th. From the time we call it to order at 2 o'clock in the evening until we adjourn. So that's a sitting. So a sitting is 1 day. A meeting is a number of sittings. And a session is a number of sessions on an annual basis. And I've managed to convince the government. And I must say that I've had good cooperation from the Premier and the Leader of Opposition in terms of trying to make the changes that I'm trying to do down at the LA.
Okay.
For instance, we had, for the last decade or so, we would have 2-3 meetings and then we'd have an official opening. So to me, that's oxymoronic. The first meeting must be your official opening. So our official opening, because once the government prorogues the House, then she has to publish a declaration calling the Parliament to meet. So our first meeting will be in June. I think it's currently scheduled for the 24th of June, right? And at that meeting, that will be the official opening of Parliament when we have all the parade and all that sort of stuff. And I've also convinced them that we should get back to how we used to do it in the 80s when I was a member of Parliament, when we used to meet February, June, September, November. And February was when we did the throne speech, because we had gotten to the place where we were having the SPS, the budget, and the throne speech all rolled into one. So the throne speech got forgotten about completely. So what I'm trying to do is to reintroduce the throne speech that will be done at the opening of Parliament, and basically that will be what the government's plans are for the year, so that the general public will hear from the government, these are the things we need to do between June 2026 and May 2027. And that will be debated separately. So the opposition, other members of the government will have an opportunity to flesh it out, so to speak.
Okay, and one of our listening audience wants to know, can you explain prorogation, what that means?
Yeah, but what
proroguing?
What proroguing the House means that the governor just simply issues a statement saying that the House is prorogued. And then within a few days, I think maybe 2 weeks, she then will issue another statement saying that the House is declaring the House called back to order. That is so we can determine what the sessions are. Because you see, we wouldn't want to have a session for 4 years, and then the only thing we did was dissolve the Parliament. Now, as I said earlier, when the governor dissolves Parliament, that's usually done a couple of weeks before the general election. That's for the purpose of the general election. Of course, even at that time, when the House is prorogued now, members of Parliament are still in their jobs, and they're still expected to do work. Because even when the House is dissolved by the governor, cabinet stays in place, and MPs can actually be called back can be called into an emergency session or something.
Yeah, and that was something that was missing before Hurricane Ivan, and that was.
But you see, why it sounds funny at this time was everything used to be annual from January till December. Then, because of Hurricane Ivan, we changed the election date from November to April or May, and then so the accounting of government, then the government financial year was what a whack. So we changed the financial year to match the electoral year, the parliamentary year, so to speak. And then a couple of years ago, we changed the financial year back to a calendar year. But we haven't moved the parliamentary thing back to the calendar year. Because that would mean somebody either getting a few more months or losing a few months in election to make that adjustment.
Okay. So, Mr. Speaker, if we could get your assessment of the impact of the parliamentary year that will be ending soon. Your assessment of that in terms of productivity and the impact.
Well, I think that the mere fact that this is our fifth meeting for the year tells you that Parliament has been active, right? And one of my first jobs was to sit down with as I saw it, was to sit down with the Premier and try to convince him, which I must admit, he was very cooperative and it was easy, is that a lot of stuff that was being done behind closed doors in Cabinet really should have been done in Parliament, because that's where the work of the people is done. Mm-hmm. That's what gives us transparency. That's what gives the public the opportunity to listen, but also to interact. Because if you hear something on Parliament going on, you can call up your MP, right? Or your MP should call you before you go to Parliament. But, So I think that we've had a very active parliamentary session. If you talk to the staff down there, they'll probably tell you that I'm making it too active. But I mean, in 2020, the session between 2025 and 2026, we've done a lot of stuff. We've had 5 meetings of Parliament, and the government has introduced a lot of legislation in those things. There's been a lot of private members' motions. There's been a lot of questions. So the activity of Parliament. And then we had a couple of other things that we introduced this year. We started and launched the Commonwealth Women's Parliamentary Branch. The Youth Parliament, as usual, has been very, very active. In fact, we're even having an extra debate for them, because we know under the normal circumstances, they only had one debate. And I've been trying to find ways to get them more involved in current situations. So they're actually having a debate on July the 2nd to discuss, I won't use the word management of the whole social media type thing, based on Ms. Perlina McGraw, the Deputy Speaker and member for Georgetown West, motion that was approved by government. So they're having a debate, and I'm really looking forward to hear what the young people is going to feel and say about these restrictions that we want to introduce on them. And of course, we've had a couple other things. I am sponsoring the British Overseas Territories Speakers Conference on the 26th of May, right? Okay. So that's a big thing. And I think that the other things I've tried to do is try to enhance the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. One of the things that I haven't quite gotten around to get it changed yet, but I hope that we're having a general meeting soon. I hope to get it changed. We have this thing where as long as you're sitting in Parliament, you're a full member of the CPA. But when you're not there, you become some kind of associate member, right? And I think I don't think that suits our small environment very well. So I'm hoping to make that change. But you can buy lifetime membership.
Okay.
What's the point of having lifetime membership if and I've sat in the CPA and heard very extensive legal arguments on both sides of it, but the Constitution does not say it has to happen. So I have to get that back. So I'm trying to, again, enhance the activities, hosting some dinners or something, or meetings where we can bring in former parliamentarians, because many of that represents a whole body of knowledge and experience that we don't have a ready means of tapping into. And that's what the CPA should be. We should be using the knowledge and experience of our former parliamentarians to train and teach. And one of the other things that I have been trying to do over the year is I'm trying to do for the young parliamentarians today what people like Mr. Benson, Mr. Norman did for me. If they make an error, I don't chastise them and embarrass them or anything. I call them in and try to make it a teaching moment so they can learn the thing. We had a very extensive, because after every election, we've always had a post-election seminar.
Okay, yeah.
Where we had a big one this year. We brought in several overseas speakers, and it was broadcast from Parliament and recorded. And I think it served the new parliamentarians very, very well. So those are some of the things that we're trying to do. And the other thing is, when I first got elected in the 80s, Caymanians honored Parliament.
Yes. Yeah.
If Mr. Johnson was delivering his speech as the Minister of Finance, every law firm, senior partner, every bank manager, every accounting firm was sitting in the audience. And I'm trying to get, last year when we had the opening, I sent out invitations and several of them came, and some of them even responded afterwards to say that they were so really glad that they had come, because it was a good experience. And then there's a place on the paper every day for speeches and messages from the speaker. Well, I believe I got enough speeches recorded on the LA after 20 years, and messages and statements. So what I have done is I've converted that and used that to invite Caymanians down to Parliament and honor them, show them the respect that I believe they deserve, give them the recognition. And we call them out by name, we record their names in the Hansards, and we give them a little certificate, And I started out with the primary schools, right? So when we meet on the 29th, we have a lot of senior ladies who have built Cayman, who have contributed to this wonderful country that we all enjoy today. So I'm bringing a lot of them in and honoring them, respecting them. And then on Friday, we will have the Employee of the Year from the Civil Service.
Okay.
We will have some people, some of those who were on that research ship that was going around here monitoring stuff, right?
Yes.
Bringing some of them in. And we're also going to, last year, Miss Gloria actually called me and asked me, Miss Macfield, sorry, I should show proper.
DG designate.
DG designate, which I'm very glad to support 100%. Had some private sector companies that helped her find jobs for Cayman government college holders. So we're bringing them in to recognize them, and hopefully come June, when she makes the appeal again, we will get even more people contributing it. So I'm trying to bring the Parliament back to the people, kind of thing.
Now you spoke about some of the leaders in firms in the Cayman Islands attending. In the early days, the press was also an integral part of the parliamentary process and being there. Now, in this day and age where you have it being broadcast live, how can they continue to contribute and to make it certainly much more personal in terms of being at Parliament, as opposed to looking at videos, at recordings afterwards and commenting on that, being there, being on the steps of Parliament when the parliamentarians leave and interviewing them and things of that nature?
It's one of my great disappointments in that the press now rely on the video broadcasts and to do their write-ups and everything else. When last have you seen a member of Parliament being interviewed, as you said, on the steps or inside the Parliament after they've made a speech in Parliament? We have a special area in the gallery that is designated for press, right? But they don't come. And in my view, the country is missing so much because the press is not reporting the kind of dynamics that go on because you really can't see that on TV, right? And the opportunity for a member of Parliament to speak more directly and expound on some of the things. Maybe ask a question, but we used to be interviewed by people afterwards. Well, why did you ask this question? Which the parliamentarian can't really get into that kind of thing on the floor because there's strict rules for question time. So it's one of my great disappointments, and I have made several appeals to the press to come back to Parliament and to offer these kinds of stuff. I have, asked them to report specifically on certain things, but they haven't done it. So,
okay, Mr. Speaker, we're going to go to a commercial break. One of our listeners is curious. They refer to the phrase, government shall have their day, but the opposition shall have their say as well, and what that means in parliamentary terms, and how it is actually put into practice as well. With that, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
There There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aid with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brandosaurus Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brandosaurus at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, we do have the Honorable D. Ezzard Miller, Speaker of our Parliament, in the studio with us, talking about the parliamentary proceedings. He's given us a recap of the 2025-2026 parliamentary year. We will also be talking about the upcoming fifth meeting of the 2025-2026 parliamentary session, as well as looking ahead to the 2026-2027 session as well. So before we went to our commercial break, did ask the Speaker if he could explain the phrase about the government having their day, but the opposition having its say.
Yeah. But it's only in Parliament where the opposition must and shall have its say, but the government must and shall have its will. and that's simple based on numbers. The reason that the government is because they have the majority of members in Parliament. So any vote that comes up, the government is going to win. And that is by design, because you can't have a government that there are more people on the other side and they cannot vote them on things that, which is the reason why a lot of people wonder why whenever a private or backbench member of the government or opposition brings a motion, it has to say the government consider. Right? We can't say the government must do, because what would happen in the cases where the government would like to do what they want to do, but because it involves expenditure and all those kinds of stuff, the motion has to say that the government will consider implementing whatever the motion starts.
People are curious also about the punctuality, of Parliament, and we know that several speakers have come in and in their, opening their acceptance speech as new Speaker of Parliament, they have spoken of the fact that they want to impose discipline to ensure that Parliament starts in time and everything. Your views?
Well, I must see Captain Son. So time is important. You know, when you draw that sun down on the horizon, the seconds makes a difference in terms of miles. Well, and in my situation, the government knew who they hired. And you will recall that I was always on time. And I found it such a waste of time to arrive in Parliament 9:30 for a 10 o'clock start, and we don't start till 2 o'clock in the day. And oftentimes we'll have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of salary staff sitting there doing nothing. So my first discussion with the Premier, I said, no, we're going to start on time. Oh, yeah, okay. So I think we've started on time every meeting, every sitting since I've been Speaker.
Great.
And I find if you start like that and you just stick to it, when you start bending, you know, because I mean I've had opportunities where I'm on my way in and somebody will, you know, this person is coming in the parking lot and we go inside. If it's not a quorum and I get in there, there's a procedure and the standing orders to tell the sergeant to round them up. But in fairness to the current MPs and the government, they're mostly there on time, and I find it is so much easier to once you start out and to stay on time.
Okay, so can we now talk about the upcoming fifth meeting of the session? Some of the things that will be included in that meeting as well.
Well, for the meeting that starts next week, this week Wednesday on the 29th, we have 7 bills: the Airports Authority Amendment and Validation Bill, the Auditor's Oversight Amendment, Validation and Repeal Bill, the Airports Authority Amendment Bill, the Health Practice Amendment Bill, the Parliament Management Bill, Proceeds of Crime Amendment Bill, and a Private Members Bill that deals with development and planning legislation. And then we have a number of private members' motions that are coming in. And of course, we have a lot of questions. So it's going to be a busy session. I figure I'll be there most nights till 10, 11 o'clock at night, if not later. But it involves stuff that the public needs to show an interest in, you know, because the old adage, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. And I want to encourage the public to pay attention. Again, you know, I'm a creature of two different worlds altogether.
And on both sides, yeah.
I can remember the time when in every Cayman house, the rebroadcast of Parliament was on, and most of the particular senior citizens looked forward, and you would get calls the next day, right? About, well, you said this last night. Well, why did you say that? That's what I'm hoping to get back to. And I really want to encourage the public to participate. It's a privilege that we have that we need to use and utilize a lot more.
So when you get your new building, can you speak to some of the features that would be included in that? Maybe including your in-house communications. We see, and you know, we can't really compare ourselves to the UK Parliament, but when you go onto the parliamentary website there, you can access live meetings, committee meetings, you know, whatever, various things. We're in the process now. We're getting ready now to start the design of the new building. We've applied. The Parliament Management Council has applied to government to get a portion of the old tower building site. Most of the young people won't know what a tower building is, but it's where the market is now, to get a piece of that property to put the new building on. And we're hoping to enhance the whole working environment of our parliamentarians. Right now, we're in two different places. We're inside the House of Parliament, but we have property, we're leasing space in a building down the road. So some of the things we want to put in that is proper facilities for the opposition, offices where MPs can meet with their constituents, because you know most of us, although we represent Northside and East End, most of our constituents are in Georgetown during the week. So and also to
put in place committee rooms that we can have that we can broadcast from, and to enhance our whole broadcasting by bringing everything in house. So we'll have more control over it, etc., etc.
Okay. Private members' questions. I'm not sure, maybe motions as well. But the questions that members have, you have to approve those questions. Can you talk about the process and what you have to take into consideration when you look at those PQs?
Yeah, but we have the new standing orders, which I think that Sir Alden and his committee did a good job of updating the standing orders. A couple little things that we're finding now that we might have to go back and change.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to do that, set up that standing orders committee when we come back in June, so we can get those cleared up. But in terms of the questions, there's a whole range of rules that go with questions. You can't ask, you can't impute any improper motives to anybody. You shouldn't ask questions about stuff that's already in the public domain. And questions needs to be, on one subject alone. You can't ask questions that covers 10 different subjects. And then we now have, under a new standing order, we have 3 forms of questions. The first one we have is what we call is premier question times, which can only be asked on Wednesday. And you will have to give half a day notice, I think it is, to that. Then we have urgent questions, which can be asked anytime, but again, you have 1 day, and the rules are not in terms of only the person asking the question can ask supplementaries, stuff like that. And then we have general questions that any member can ask, right? So, and it's a very effective way of allowing people who are not in the government, one, to get information for themselves, but also get information to the public about what's going on in specific topics in government.
Okay.
But neither questions or motions should be discussed in public prior to the speaker signing off on it. Because you don't want... Actually, it would be interesting if I was to rule sometime, if somebody comes out, and which happened quite recently, and discuss a motion that I have not approved, whether I say, well, I'm denying the motion because it's already in the public domain, right? But there's reasons for that, because you don't want a situation where they can come out and discuss a motion, and then because of the rules and the standing orders, I alter it when it comes. And then, so. And it's not in any way trying to curtail the member from discussing. Because remember now that they have to submit their questions 10 days before the sitting. They have to submit motions 5 days before the sitting. So there's plenty of time between, and I have to approve it within the period. And they can submit it anytime. I mean, they can submit questions, even when the House is prorogued. I won't deal with it but I mean, they can start from whenever the House is called back, whatever time for the June session, 3-4 weeks before. But there's plenty of room for them to do that, get it approved, and then discuss it in the public. And
the amount of flexibility that you allow for supplementary questions when there is a PQ?
That is totally basically the discretion of the Speaker.
Okay.
But what the Speaker is trying to do there is to keep it on topic. Because if you ask the minister, what is the funds for this or whatever, right? Then I don't allow you then to go back then and get into how the whole thing was developed and all this sort of stuff. So we got to keep it to questions that are relevant and that really and truly. Supplementary questions should only come out of the answer that the minister gave. You see, so that's the big guide for the Speaker.
It shouldn't be a follow-up question that you want to ask.
One that you forgot to submit.
Okay, with that, we're going to go to a commercial break. But before we do, this person has written and said, "Good morning, OC and Speaker of our Parliament, Honourable Ezzard Miller. Thanks for all that you do for us seniors, including yourselves. We may be old, but not cold. Laugh out loud, laughing out loud. I worked 3 different jobs in my lifetime until November of 2025, and I'm still able to work if I'm called to do so. And I admire you as speaker, the writer has said. We want to thank them for that as well. We're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brandosaurus Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brandosaurus at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We are on the last portion of this segment of the show with the Honorable D. Ezzard Miller, Speaker of our Parliament. We're going to now talk about the 2026-2027 session of our Legislative Assembly. We'll have some closing comments as well from the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, over to you, sir.
Yeah, well, one of the most important things for me looking forward to 26-27, now, you know, I'm not involved in what bills the government
right,
brings.
Exactly, yes.
Or making a comment on government policy or legislation. But I started out in my short inaugural speech. I appealed to members to advocate strongly, but there's not a need. I don't think there's a need to be adversarial when you advocate. And I want to compliment the members of Parliament because I believe that the adversarial has reduced a little bit. We still have a ways to go. But I encourage them to, like I say, advocate strongly, but don't do it. You don't have to do it in an adversarial way so that there's nothing to screaming and hollering across the Parliament and stuff like that.
You can disagree without being disagreeable.
And, you know, my grandmother used to tell me you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. And I think that it's hard for a minister to accept your point of view if you're insulting him in the process personally. And we should try to keep personalities out of it. So I'm looking forward to further reduction in the adversarial nature of the Parliament. But getting the Parliament more exposed to the public by public participation and also to encouraging the members to debate effectively but efficiently, you know. And there's no, we have to, hopefully, and the opposition seems to be moving in that direction, as is the government, is that the opposition has appointed spokesmen and certain things. And in terms of the effective and efficient use of their time in Parliament, you don't need to get up and repeat what somebody already said on your side, and that those people who have been designated will take a greater leadership role when bills comes within their wheelhouse, so to speak, and so that people, because again, you're speaking to a wide public audience, right? And we don't want people to get fed up with listening to repetition and personal attacks and that sort of stuff. I think we have a responsibility as parliamentarians to maintain and promote the honor, respect, and the worthiness of Parliament, and the fact that you have been privileged to serve as an MP, to represent your constituency. You should accept that with a certain amount of dignity and where you old people go, right? Right? So I'm hoping that we will get Parliament to be a place where people recognize that what is being discussed is relative to them, it's important to them, it's going to affect their lives in one way or another, so we get greater participation. Because I would like to see where the members of the constituency are reacting more with their MPs based on what's going on in Parliament, you see. And then, of course, like I said, I want to continue the further development of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association and the Commonwealth Women's Parliamentary Branch. We want to develop that because I'm hoping that can be molded into an actual forum for women's issues. Well, I kind of agree with Hillary Clinton that human rights are women's rights and women's rights are human rights. So I don't think we can have an issue to come to Parliament that's not going to affect women in one way or another. So I'm hoping that will get mold into where the sitting members of the Parliament will offer opportunities to areas of people with expertise, people with concern, people with experience in areas that are being put before Parliament. So there's a structured format by which women can access what's going on to Parliament, participate, and influence the legislation to make sure that women's rights are protected in all the legislation.
Okay, and I can't let you leave without talking about our youth parliament and what has taken place during your tenure and what plans you may have moving forward with that as well.
Yeah, well, our youth parliament has been very, very active for quite a year, and I was privileged to attend the regional CPA, that is the Caribbean and America CPA in Bahamas last year. And we had 2 youth parliamentarians that go to those things. And let me tell you something, the 2 came on, one got himself voted as the leader of the opposition, and the thing, and the other one, when he got up to speak, he just brought the house down, man. I mean, he said, listen, one of the biggest things in all his areas, corruption, we got it, and let me tell you, for the first 5 minutes of his speech, you could hear a pin drop in that room. And they've always, most of the parliamentarians that we have sent to these international forums have always done Cayman proud. And one of the things that I've been trying to do is to find a way, because we spend a lot of time recruiting and training these youth parliamentarians from September for a single performance in March, right? So I'm trying to find ways that we can have them deal with issues that because oftentimes, it is very important to hear what the youth feel about in a particular issue and a policy coming down by government. So we've actually going to have a second debate by this group, which is going to be on the 2nd of July, and they're going to debate the most recent successful motion in Parliament about the management of social media. And it's going to be very, very interesting because when we started to discuss it with them, they have a way of getting around everything. They say, well, I will not worry about that, Mr. Miller, because anytime you close one VP, we'll find another one, we'll find this. I have no idea what they're talking about, Because when I want something done with my phone, I give it to my 10-year-old. I say, fix this for Daddy. Right? But again, and the great hope there is that eventually some of these youth parliamentarians will find themselves step forward and get elected and represent us in Parliament. Well, there's one guy who intends to be a premier, and he makes it clear. But you admire that in people, and that's what we want to encourage, And I want to try and get it expanded more in the schools, where the schools, if we can't hold up debate in Parliament, but the schools may be able to have a debate in that school or even into school on issues that are going on, because it's a good training ground for people, and we want to make sure that Cayman's future is protected, and part of that protection and guarantee of Cayman having a good future is to have the youth involved in these kind of things and have them aspire to be a parliamentarian. And that's one of the reasons that I want us to restore the dignity of Parliament, the honour of Parliament, the respect that people have for Parliament.
And you have issued a call, for people to visit the Parliament whenever they get the opportunity, especially when there is a sitting. Can you speak to anyone who is planning on coming to Parliament in terms of their attire and the way that they should be presenting themselves?
But if you come in to sit in the gallery of Parliament, we at least require a shirt and tie, right, and a suit, preferably a suit, to sit in the Parliament. And the women, I think that we've taken away the need from to wear a hat, but you have to dress properly.
That would be on the floor. On the floor itself.
No, that's in the gallery.
Gallery?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because again, we want to have that dignity about the place, And so we don't want anybody coming down there in shorts, jeans, and sneakers, and baseball caps on the head, and stuff like that. And then there's there is a whole set of rules about how you behave in the gallery. You can't holler at the MPs down in the gallery. You can't enforce with them. You're not supposed to be writing, and you shouldn't have your cameras and taking pictures, and you shouldn't be having on your smartphone recording stuff and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's all posted where people can read it right at the bottom of the stairs. And one of the things that we're doing right now is there's a big movement for a couple of years now about making sure that our parliaments are handicap rated. So we're in the process now of putting in a stair lift on the stairs. We looked at putting in an elevator, but problem with room and space. So we've decided to put in a stair lift.
Yeah.
So that people who are not really mobile, we can get them upstairs to the gallery. Because now if you come in a wheelchair, we're not going to turn you away. We'll try to fit you downstairs in the back where we have the place for former parliamentarians, GPs, and senior civil servants on the other side.
Because that building was built in 1972, was it? Somewhere around there?
Yep. Somewhere right around there. Yeah.
So certainly no requirements then for persons who are differently abled.
And it's amazing how they have modified it internally to accommodate the growth, because them days you had 12 people. There was 12 MPs, 4 went to government, and the rest of us were non-government members. We were not called the opposition, which made it maybe a term that we should look to again in the future, because opposition, in my view, just gives the wrong context of what we're trying to achieve down there in the ultimate fashion. Is it Guyana is the only parliament in Cayman in this region that doesn't have an opposition? They call it something else.
Yes,
I think non-members of government is what they use.
And then in the UK, they basically refer, when they're talking about Parliament and the House of Lords, they refer to people. They use I forget what the expression is, but
in the House of Commons they have the opposition, but
yes,
in the House of Lords is a little different.
Well,
I can't recall the title right now.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much for making yourself available. Looking forward to more of these as well. Maybe we should have something called a Speaker's Corner or something like that at some point in time.
We've hired Miss Leah Archibald, and let me tell you now, she's doing a lot of things, because I'm difficult to manage when it comes to social media, right? But we're also improving the whole social media aspect of Parliament. We have our own. We're out there. We have our own page. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, right? So all the other stuff. So look on Facebook for us. Join, become a member, subscribe to whatever we have out there, and give us some feedback. Do you like it? Is it good? Is it not good? How can we improve it? Because again, like I say, one of my mantras is getting Parliament to be a more of a public forum.
Okay.
So, but thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much as well. Just before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock, you heard the Speaker, Honorable Ezzard Miller, talk about Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. And what I will share with you when we return is an article in the Tradewinds newspaper, the 21st of April, 1966, talking about then member of our Legislative Assembly, Mr. Burns Ruddy, attending the London meeting of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. Part of Northwest Point Road in West Bay is closed this week as the Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center continues major work on its saltwater pipe project. There will be no through traffic between 786 and 831 Northwest Point Road until the early hours of April 30th. Drivers are asked to follow the signed detour via Watercourse Road. Emergency access will be maintained while crews install the new 36-inch pipeline, which will secure the center's seawater supply and long-term operations. In international headlines, suspected pirates hijack a cargo vessel carrying cement off the coast of Somalia. It is the second such incident in less than a week. The St. Kitts and Nevis flagship was seized near the Puntland town of Garakad as it sailed from Egypt to Mombasa, with 9 armed men reported to have boarded the vessel and international maritime agencies now warning of a possible resurgence in piracy in the region. In eastern Chad, at least 42 people have been killed after a dispute over a water point spiraled into wider intercommunal violence. Authorities say the clashes between 2 families in Wadi Fira province near the Sudan border triggered a cycle of reprisals before the army intervened and warned that pressure from Sudan's war and refugee inflows is adding to tensions over scarce resources along the frontier. I'm April Cummings from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Again, I want to say thank you to the Honorable Ezzard Miller for appearing on the first segment of For the record, this morning, talking about Parliament, extremely grateful, and lots of information was passed on to you in relation to how Parliament works as well. This person wrote in and said, "Good morning. I always like to listen to the Honorable Ezzard Miller. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the Honorable Nicholas DaCosta was a member of the Youth Parliament in his high school days. I know with certainty that he was the Youth Tourism Minister for a period of time, and look how he turned out." So I want to thank that listener and writer for sharing that information with all of us as well, letting you know now that the phone lines are open. If you have any questions, comments, viewpoints in relation to things that have happened, things that may happen as well. Meanwhile, we have to continue to give recognition to our parliamentarians who have contributed to the success of the Cayman Islands and who have given their time and expertise and efforts to serving the people of the Cayman Islands. And remember, there were those days when the very attractive salaries that members of Parliament receive today, that wasn't necessarily the case in earlier years as well. I believe that there was a point in time when no remuneration was obtained at all for serving. So, on the 21st of April, 1966, and some years ago, those of you who follow Radio Cayman, you probably would have heard me share this with you before, but it is worth sharing again because it is timely. It is timely that today is the 27th day of April, 1966, and 2026, and on the 21st of April, 1966, this report was made in relation to Mr. Burns Ruddy attending the London meeting. And the article starts off by pointing out, it says, Mr. Burns Ruddy, member of the Legislative Assembly of the Cayman Islands, he was leaving on that date for the annual meeting of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association in London, England. Pointed out that Mr. Ruddy is a member of the association by virtue of his seat in the Legislative Assembly of the Cayman Islands, and pause there for a second to point out that the Speaker, Mr. Miller, did point out that, if you're a member of our Parliament, then you're automatically a member of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Then the article goes on to say that the Cayman Islands, that we were then in our second year as a member of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. The purpose of the meeting, according to Mr. Ruddy, is to instruct all of the delegates in attendance in the points of parliamentary procedure. The course was designed to last from the 27th of April until the 23rd of May, 1966. So those days, it was a long period, almost a month. Says guest speakers for the course would include Sir Barnett Cox, JCB OBE, Clerk of the House of Commons, and the Right Honourable Lord Shepherd, Government Chief Whip, House of Lords, and the Right Honourable William Deeds, MC MP, who will lecture on the subject of Parliament and the press. How interesting. He a lecture on Parliament and the press, and we did hear the speaker speak about the role of the press and his desire to have them more involved in parliamentary reporting, spending more time in Parliament, taking the opportunity. Don't wait, to get them, in your studio, but meet them on the steps of Parliament, interview them, get live comments from our parliamentarians as well. Don't be so reliable now on social media as we are. There are still many people out there who don't necessarily rely on social media. The article then goes on to say, according to Mr. Ruddy, all lectures will take place in the House of Parliament in London, with the exception of the period from the 15th through the 19th of May, and on May 19th through the 21st, where the Northern Ireland and Jersey branches, respectively, would be the hosts. So they were also hosted by Northern Ireland and Jersey. The delegates would be moved by air to Belfast and to Jersey. I guess in those days it wasn't that dangerous, traveling to Belfast, because maybe the turbulence wasn't there at that point in time. My history, I haven't really focused so much on the political upheavals in the United Kingdom. Says the delegates will be met in London Airport by representatives of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association and will be accommodated at the Waldorf. Wow. 1966, they were accommodated at the Waldorf Hotel in Aldwych, London. I must say, Waldorf Hotel. There were times after that where people were housed, many government officials were housed at the Horse Guards. Some of you former civil servants and former parliamentarians will remember Horse Guards Hotel. Wasn't the best in the world, and had its limitations. Of course, over the years they have upgraded it immensely. But even folks, even in the early 2000s, there were still challenges as far as Horse Guards Hotel is concerned in relation to Wi-Fi. Some chalked it up to the fact that the buildings in that area, most of them old buildings, the War Office and all in that area there, had a lot to do with the inconsistencies in communications using cell phones in Horse Guard. But all of that I'm saying just to say, wow, in 1966, the delegates for the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association were housed at the Waldorf Hotel. Says also included in the course would be guided tours of places of historical and contemporary interest in and around London. And on the evening of the 11th of May, the delegates would attend a performance of My Fair Lady in the Warner Theatre. Article goes on to point out that Mr. Ruddy would depart from Owen Roberts Airport and fly directly to the United States on business prior to flying on to London from New York City. Mr. Ruddy will be the guest while in the United States of Campbell's Soup Company in Camden, New Jersey. Also the Haynes Company and R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, both in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Is that the end of the... That looks like that was the end of the article. And I believe that there was another article when he returned. I'll try to see if I can find that. Probably not today, where he would have reported on his visit when he returned after that month's stint in the United Kingdom. If you are a former parliamentarian, or maybe even a current one, and if you want to share your experiences in terms of participating in a Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, and undergoing training and orientation about parliamentary procedures and processes, we would like you to share that information with us right here on For the Record. I'm going to try to see if I can contact one of our former parliamentarians to talk about that as well. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brandosaurus Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brandosaurus at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Boy, I'm so glad I got that funding from the Ministry of Tourism's Visitors Experience Development Grant Program. It has really helped me create an awesome new tourism offering. Wondering if you could do the same? You're in luck. Applications for the VEDG program are now open. Visit www.ourcayman.ky/VEDGP for more information and to apply.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Phone lines are open. Toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call in on 949-8037, 949-6990, WhatsApp number 925-3261. I had the opportunity to speak to a former parliamentarian between the commercial break and, to talk about experience. Unfortunately, that individual is overseas and at this point in time unable to go live with me, but they have pointed out that it is an invaluable experience in terms of attending those Commonwealth Parliamentary Associations. In particular, mention was made to the opportunities for networking after attending one of those conferences where you meet colleagues from other jurisdictions and learning how the approach that they take to various aspects of parliamentary representation and gaining a better understanding of the various parliamentary systems that are in place as well. And they also spoke to the ability, because there are occasions when attendees are also requested to present a paper or to present orally on certain topics as well, and that opportunity for them to do that. So we can learn so much in terms of passing that on, in terms of gaining that information at these conferences as well. We do have a caller, I believe. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am thankful that God gave me another day.
Great.
But I just couldn't miss talking to you when you started to talk about Rhoda Watler.
Okay.
I would like to just share a little bit of history, because I know you like to go down history lane. I listened to you a couple of days ago when you were talking about the man that found the purse, their bus driver.
Oh, yes.
He was there at all the history about where we stayed in Shedden Road. But I'm just thankful that I still remember you and Ali and all the family, because your mother was a great woman. Miss Martha was so lovely.
Thank you.
And her and my mother, Joyce Prendergast, was very friends. They were good friends.
Oh yeah, the little road going down between Miss Rick's house and Miss Nanette's to get to your house. we walked down that road many days, and all of those nice long mango trees down in the back there.
Yes, and see, that was a wonderful neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
The people that drove Miss Marta, the people from down in the east, all the people there, Alex and Evelyn, all of their mothers and Miss Mason. It was a wonderful neighborhood.
It was.
But that's not what I want to bring you up to date with, is but Mr. Rhoda Watler.
Uh-huh.
My mother worked with them for years, and he was a lovely man. And my mother used to work with them, and their favorite food was turtle meat and salt, beef and beans, and breadfruit cake. Up until years ago, when precious Miss Joanne was living, and she saw me, she would always remind me of the breadfruit cakes that my mother used to make for them.
Mm-hmm.
They were lovely people. But anyway, Mr. Rhoda Watler, he used to wear these big uniforms,
mm-hmm.
these big brown uniform, khaki uniforms. And no one could iron them and do them for him but my mother.
Wow, okay.
And so we lived in Pondside. I don't know, many people in Cape Ann don't know where Pondside was.
Well, tell them where it is. Tell them where what is there now.
I'm gonna tell the listening public where Pondside was. Where Cable and Wireless is today?
Mm-hmm.
All that property to the west side of Cable and Wireless was Pondside. It was belongs to a lady by the name Petruna Miles Patterson. All of that land here, I tell you, I cried when that was destroyed, because that was the loveliest property in the world. In its Cayman Islands, I mean. It had so much fruit trees of every kind was there.
Mm-hmm.
And from when on the west side of that, you could come right out now in the next door to Annex, in the front of Annex, the road goes right down there.
Yes.
You come right out there. But all of that property was belongs to her, and that's where a few was It's only a few of us leave today. Miss Olga General, my brother Edwin, and a few of us that left that now they're born there in Pondside. That's where Pondside was.
So you say Miss Petrona Miles Patterson was owned all of that property?
All the way you speak about dairy sounds and things and all them places out there. All of that was hers. Mango trees. Oh, goodness. And the opposite side of that, Miss Anna Borden and her sister used to use the land over there where you see Maria Plaza was and Biggest. All of that was belongs to Miss Anna Hulda Borden.
Okay.
Oh, and her sister, they keep cows there. And they used to cross our place in the morning because we lived there. And they used to cross our place in the morning. You could hear Miss Anna in the morning. Giddy up, Black, and get up.
Wow.
And because she used to give us milk sometimes too. But that was where Pondside was a lovely property. And my mother had to walk from there in the morning because she had to do Mr. Watler uniform for him. And she would back that on her shoulder and his pants and his shirt over her shoulder in the morning, taking me and Edwin, my brother, to school. But she would take them on her shoulder, well clipped and ironed for him. And she would walk from Pondside, where I tell you where Pondside is now. The down North Church Street where they lived, where Mr. Brother Watler lived on North Church Street. And that's where she had to walk all of that distance. We didn't have no cars and no taxis. She walked that long distance to take his uniform to him. And as I tell you, every week she had to cook salt beef and beans for them.
Wow.
It was a lovely family. Up until when Miss Joanne was living, God bless her soul. And she would always remind me of those nice breadfruit cakes that my mother used to make for them. And Mr. Joe, he was a nice man too. That was Mr. Watler's son. He was Ladna and Donna's their father.
Yes.
Yes, he was a lovely man too. That was a lovely family, Osis. I just wanted to give you a little history about that.
Before you go now, tell me about the main road. So in traveling to Mr. Roddy's house from Pondside, would you have gone would you have gone the way through by Beck's, or you would go Mary Street and then take and go on to North Church Street? What was the route?
Like, Mary Street is like down and go to the west. Down and walk all the way down there. You know where I heard about Mr. Patton and place a few days.
Pat Alonso, yeah,
Yeah, all down that road. But it was a little road, you know where that little gas station was?
Mr. Ingsley's gas station?
Yeah. Well, on the east side of that was a road that go right down in there. That was where Mr. Rodder Watler's house was.
Okay.
And and that was where their house was. But that was a long distance that they had to walk.
Now, while I have you on the phone, because I'm going to keep you on here, because, I like to talk about these things.
Listen to Pondside Road was, where Junior's shop was that he had bought, where Junior's shop was? I think Mr. Steve Maxfield bought it afterward. I don't know who owns it now. But right on the little east side of Junior's shop, there was only a narrow road that go right down in there.
I remember that, yes.
That was the road to Pondside.
And now tell me where Mr. I forget the name of where he used to hold the dances and stuff like that. Mr. Dalmeen Miles used to have his dance place. What was that called again?
Patson?
No, Mr. Dalmeen Miles. Remember, there was a dance hall somewhere there.
I don't remember. I only remember Patson where it was called Shank Crank.
But I remember the dances that used to have. They used to have dance contests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There.
But them days, I was so young, we couldn't have anything to do with them then.
Yeah, but don't.
All I know that Pondside was the loveliest places in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, okay, tell us about Blueberry Hill. You must remember Blueberry Hill now.
Well, that's my history. That house belonged to my father.
Yes.
And when he built that, and he went to see Mr. Brown, if you remember Mr. Brown, he built that house.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Brown from up Walker's Road, he built it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he partly raised my son and he partly raised Mr. Urick. They were his two stepsons.
Okay.
So he built my father's house and he went to the sea.
Mm-hmm.
But, my cousins there, big and little one, God bless them, one soul, they took it over for dance hall because, they didn't appreciate my mother too much. So they took it for a dance hall and they named it Blueberry Hill.
Because was it complete? Was it completely finished then? It wasn't completely finished when it was used as
finished.
Right.
But it had flooring thing in it.
Yes.
And the floor was so messed up that OC, myself and my brother Adrian, my mother was an industrial woman. God bless her soul. In the night when she come from working with people like Mr. Rod Watler and Mr. Queen Patton, she worked with them. She would mix cement in the night by light and do over the floor after they had messed up the floor so bad that we couldn't go home there and live. And we had to take light and do that so the whole floor over in order to move into that.
Wow. Miss Adina, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. I did call your name there because somebody wrote and said, morning OC, this caller is telling so many interesting points. Does she want to state her name? And I just did it. But I'm going to ask you if you, I have to go to a commercial break because I want you, if you can, I'd like you to stay on the phone line because I want to talk a little bit more because I'm sure that you know a little bit more about Miss Ricks as well, who lived right behind us and sort of like to the southwest of your house. And I want to see what you know about Miss Ricks. If you could stay on the line while we take the commercial break.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Please stay tuned. More of Cayman's history, Georgetown in particular, right off Shedden Road. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman News.
Police Service has released its annual crime and traffic report.
Although incidents decreased by 6% compared to 2025, overall crime increased by 13%.
Says sex offenses rose 20%, making them the largest contributor to serious crime.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We are talking Old Cayman. On the phone we have with us Miss Adina Range, who is a former resident of Georgetown or Shaden Road. You heard about her house that was being built by Mr. Brown. And folks, remember, in those days, it wasn't like now where you engaged a contractor and, you know, in one full swoop, maybe 6-8 months, you know, construction is completed, everything is done. First of all, if you didn't own land in Cayman and you were a seaman, the first thing you did is that you sent money home to buy property. My good late friend did that, you know, and he always talked about Mr. Ashler Godfrey sending his money home from sea to Mr. Ashler Godfrey saving it for him, purchasing property, you know, for him as well, you know, under his instructions. So those days, you got the land. After that, you wanted to get the foundation done. You get the foundation done, then you save a little bit more money, and then you run the blocks up and you get it to the Belton. After that, when the bank started to do financing, once you got it up to the Belton, it was easier for you to get financing because a lot of the work was done then. So Miss Dinah, we were talking about Blueberry Hill, which was a favorite, popular dance spot as well. And she talked about Biggie and Lil One. Of course, when they came home from Southwell, from sea, they would have the, you know, all of the latest in terms of dress, buy new bicycles and everything, and they would have their record player going on the porch. Miss Mods and them porch out there playing music, and no one complained about it those days in terms of loud music because everyone enjoyed it. So Miss Adina, Miss Ricks, tell me about her.
Well, Miss Ricks, she was there when we went there to live.
Okay.
Your mother's house was in front of her house. House. I remember that. I remember the barbed wire fence that separated the property and the little road where we had to go through. I remember your mother big pear tree there with all those stairs. And I remember me and Arlene, we all grew up together. Tucker, honest, everybody around there was neighbors and friends. But Miss Ricks, I think, I don't know whether she was father to Mr. Ornest or to Mr. Ornest's mother. I mean, wife. But her daughter was named Norma, and she was living in the States.
Okay.
And she always used to come out and bring groceries and look for her mother. And she never did move back here. She stayed over there, and years ago, then she died.
Okay.
But Miss Ricks was there, and Miss Ricks had cancer of the face. You remember she had cancer?
Yes. It was disfigured, yes.
I don't know if you remember, but I know you all, and I think, well, I know me and my brother Corn, and we always had to go to the shop for her. We always had to get her groceries because she didn't come out the house.
And she
was afflicted because sometimes she would have bleeding in her feet. You know, you always had to tend to her.
Yes.
Because she was a very old woman.
Yeah.
But she was very nice. She was very nice to us because why we had to come through that road there, her place, because when my father built the house there next to the chalet, they didn't want us to cross. You remember they had a hole there?
Well, yes, they're big for cistern.
Yeah. And they did walk. We couldn't walk across to get to our house. So Mr. Rich allowed us then to walk across her property between her and Miss Donette to get to our house. But years ago, I always hear you talk. I always hear my cousin George. She'll always talking to you.
Yep.
me and him is first cousins.
Right.
His father and my father was brothers. Half brothers. And so when he came from sea,
And your father's name was Mr. Vincent.
Vincent Prendergast.
Yeah, he was a cook, right? He was a real good cook. He served as cook on National Bulk.
Yeah, he used to be on National Bulk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you remember when the boats used to come in out on the sea, and when they would be crossing, Venezuela and Mobile,
yes,
places.
Yes.
You remember Mr. Lewis, Miss Nanette, brother?
Oh yes.
They used to get boat. They used to get the little boat, and they used to go there to meet the sailors. And I remember my father also sent me off candies and all that.
Yeah, we would look forward to that, and they would look forward to the turtle meat that we would send out to them to the boat.
We would stand right there on the dock, right there where the old dock was, on the waterfront, and watch the big old boat out there in the night, and the boat sailing from the dock, the first dock we had. The boat sailing from there to go to meet her, and the men would go there and meet them and things. And when he came home one time and saw that that's where we had to walk through, he got real bad then with the Gillette. Began little one, and you remember Miss Maud and Miss Aretta?
Yes.
He got real bad with them one time, and he said, listen, let me tell you something. He said, Vincent Prendergast is our family. He's my brother. Joyce and Vincent is married. That's his legal wife. And he said, I want to tell you one thing. Before tomorrow is up, he said, I want us to go to Wild Answer, because that day is the Wild Answer used to do all of the work for the people. He was the one. And he was their chief, executive. In fact, the place that my father had down in there came from Mr. Wild. Uncle. And he said, I want a car road there for Joyce and her children. And he said, I don't want to hear anything. And see, that man, bless his soul, George Daddy. By the next day, they had him there while answering. And that is where you see us going in by Mr. Webby. Well, that's where we got the road, go straight down then to our home. And it was there until my father, well, it's still there right now, because British American bought all of that property. Stuff like that and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
you remember that big aca tree that Miss Nanette had in the back of her yard there? Oh boy, that used to bear some acres on it.
And then about 3 or 4 other ones sprang up there.
Miss Adina, we didn't plan this, but I don't believe that there's anybody else on the phone waiting. We're going to dedicate this session to you, and even if I have to pay your phone bill, because I know you call it, even if I have to pay it personally, I will pay your phone bill to keep you on here so we can talk a little bit more about Georgetown. I have to go to our last commercial break. If you can indulge us and stay on the line, we would appreciate it. Miss Adina?
Yeah.
Can you hang on some more?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Miss Susan, we're going to take that last commercial break. We're not taking any more calls. Just Miss Adina is covering this show, this portion of the show this morning. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile.
superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Spring forward and save 20% on GE appliances. All throughout the month of April, enjoy 20% savings on GE appliances across a wide range of categories. Washers and dryers, refrigerators, cooking, dishwares, and wine and beverage coolers. Have you been thinking about replacing or upgrading your appliances? Now is the perfect time to shop and save. Take advantage of the GE Appliances Spring Forward sale happening now at Brandosaurus Home Gallery. Enjoy 20% off America's #1 most reliable appliance brand. But don't wait! Offer ends April 30. Visit Brandosaurus at 209 Dorsey Drive Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning, something that wasn't planned, but I'm glad and happy that Miss Adina called in as well. This person has written and said, good morning, great discussions, good history in the stories that Miss Adina is telling. Those are the stories we need to capture. Her sister would do well to record them from her. And then they go on to comment about Mr. Roddy's surviving daughter, Miss Joan, as well. I want to thank that listener and writer for that information as well. So Miss Adina, so we covered Blueberry Hill. You covered Pondside. We covered Miss Ricks. Covered a little bit, of course, a little bit of the family politics coming into it as well. But there's nothing to be shamed about in terms of family rivalries and stuff like that. There isn't a family on this earth that doesn't have some sort of internal family rivalry at the end of the day. But you know what? At the end of the day, we all still live together and loved each other also.
I'm a person that I'm 79 years old. I born on the 14th of August, 1946, right there in Pondside.
Okay.
Oh, God bless her soul, Miss Seymour. She was a midwife. You remember them days around there? That was Miss Beame and Miss Rachel's mother.
Yeah, speaking of Miss Rachel, her son Rex is here. Actually, he's leaving today, but he's visited us for a few days. Rex Forbes as well.
Guess what?
Uh-huh.
I had a lovely dream about his mother and the old times up there a few weeks ago, and I said, oh, I saw Miss Rachel so pleased in that dream.
Wow.
But this is what I want to tell you about. When I want to tell you, this is a story that I wanted to reveal over and over now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember, I heard you talking about Dobson Hall the other morning. And that was where I went to school in my young days, in the 60s. On the opposite side of Dobson Hall was where Mr. Rose had his...
Dr. Rose, yeah.
Dr. Rose, yeah. Mr. Winston Rose's father.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you remember the time that a child got knocked down crossing the road there to get water from his house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember them times. But I always hear people talking about Cayman. But Cayman is for Caymanians. And if we don't take it back and do things the way that they did it in their days, we will never have it. We will never have it. Our young people need to say this is my island, and if something is got right, we have brains and we have a mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I have to say. When that little boy got knocked down that day, I'll never forget it. He was crossing to go over Dr. Rose to ask for some water. That evening, your mother, my mother, Miss Eula Maxine, and all those parents that had children going there in those times, they had a parent-teacher meeting. And they said they would march the government house the next morning, parents, teachers, and children. And next morning, they put us there with them, and we marched to the government house, the old government house up there, to the commissioner. And I don't know if you know Mr. Boy Ebanks.
Oh, yes.
Boy Ebanks.
Uh-huh.
Well, he was who escorted us that morning. And when we got there, they wanted, the governor came, the commissioner, he wanted to know what we wanted, what they wanted. And they said, listen, they say common sense is common, but it's not too common. Because my mother didn't have no education. I can tell you that she didn't have a lot of it, but she had a lot of common sense. Your mother had education because I remember she was a teacher. You remember?
Yes.
But they all, and Miss Onisha and Mark Field too. And they told him the situation. A child was knocked down yesterday going across the road to get water. And we don't want it to happen again. We want water on that compound. We're demanding water to be on that compound. And OC, by that evening, Public Works had a big galvanized tank of water there for us children. Right there. Yes, a big galvanized tank of water. So we don't have to be quiet and go around like, as devil people say, with the chicken on the wing. You can't take the head from under the wings and come out there and speak. When we want something, we have to speak. I heard him talking about the cars. The cars can't stop coming from Cayman. So government do something about it. Every boat come here got on a load of cars. They should put moratorium on that. She got a load of part of cars to come in there. How the roads don't get any better if we don't stop bringing in cars. And some of them not even good cars.
And when the owners leave, then we left with a burden.
Yeah, and I heard your friend that every morning he be the first one to call the house.
Graham.
Mr. Rankin, he was to call me, but he had never called me. But I tell him I'm going to get to him, and he was talking about the cars that he see there on Mr. Banner property, Mr. Banner Ross property. A lot of cars there for sale. So how is traffic going to get any better in Cayman if they don't stop bringing in these pile of cars? Those are things that we need to stand up and say no.
No more. Yes.
No more. The building, Cayman not growing no bigger, you know. I am 79 years old and I never see 1 mile growing in Cayman from the day I born. Not 1 mile. It's still the same size. So how they expect to be building all of these 10-story buildings here? Huh? One of these days it's going to stop. One of these days it's going to be disastrous. Because those 10-story buildings, if something, God forbid, happens here, like a serious earthquake or something, where are they going to go? Think the little island.
Mm-hmm.
Think this little island. I'll give you this joke before I go.
Okay.
One time, when my mother saw all of these new condominiums and things, because that's where she used to work most of the time along on West Bay Road
right.
there. And and she said to me one day, because she used to call me Dinah, she never used to call me by that. And by the way, the month of May will be my first birthday because my name is Adina May.
I like that.
Yeah, because a lot of people call me Dinah May. People from outside used to call me Dinah May. Miss Olga General, I guess you know her.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Miss Nina. Well, she's one of the eldest, the oldest people that live in that born in outside. Yeah. And my mother said to me, she said, Dinah, she said, one of these days, even Willa Watson is going to be able to own a condom in Cayman. a condominium in Cayman. I say, well, Mama, she said, yes, because they're building so much condominiums. Who can buy them? She said, we don't have no money to buy them.
Yep.
She said, even Willa Watson is going to be able to own one. He's gone, and she's gone. But I tell you the truth, we still not going to be able to own it.
Yes.
You can hardly rent them. People can hardly rent them. We have a little property we have to hold on to.
Yep, so true.
I have my home up here in Spot Newlands, and I am so thankful that God gave me this again. But I tell you what, nobody can buy it from me.
That's the way to go. That's the way
no
to think.
one can buy it.
Yep.
I was thinking one time that I would give this one and I would give the next one in my farm or something. In order to do that, I would say I would have to sell my property in order to finance my will. But I said no. Afterward, I said no. I said no.
Yep.
I will pass it on.
Yep.
I will not make nobody own this property up here.
Yep. Miss Adina, I want to thank you very much for being so accommodating this morning. We know that you are a huge fan of Radio Cayman, and I know Miss Susan is your favorite person. You like to talk to her in the mornings as well. But I want to thank you very much because a lot of the comments that we are receiving here, all of the comments coming in, are very positive about this discussion with you this morning. Thank you very much, Miss Adina. You have a great day.
Thank you for accommodating me. God bless, and you all have a wonderful day. And I am so appreciative of Radio Cayman 50 years. And whatever God gives us leave to carry it on.
Yep.
It's a wonderful asset for us. So you take care. God
Thank you.
bless.
Thank you very much.
Everyone there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
And my spirit, Miss Susan, she wakes me up in
the morning. All right. All the best. So one of our listeners has written and said, thanks for keeping Miss Adina on. She has a wealth of information about our history. She used to hang out with my grand aunt, Miss Winnie Whitaker. Beautiful person. Want to thank that writer for that as well. Do we have any more before we go? Person says, that's my type of stuff as well. So, folks, Radio Cayman, and for the record isn't all about listening to me and, me providing you with information. Yes, that's a part of it as well. But it is a platform for you also. And I am so glad this morning that the time allowed for me to talk to Miss Adina. And whenever occasion arises that we don't have guests in the studio and we don't have the phone lines queued up, with callers as well, I will, take similar opportunities to let you have your say as well. Folks, don't forget your favorite radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Mr. Charles Glidden-Shallow at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to yard. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Cover me, cover